Hello, and welcome to the latest edition of the Andzen Approach. My name's Jason, director at Andzen, and for this episode, we're joined by the team at Growave. So I've got Eldar, the CEO and founder, as well as Joe, SVP of Partnerships, and a longtime friend of Andzen's.
Yeah, what a full circle moment, I guess.
And I am Brenden Rawson, founder at Andzen, joining Jason as usual. Guys, we are in Vegas.
Yes.
How good.
Yeah, how good's
Look at
the
this
view.
We have a fantastic little suite that we're recording in this week. It is, of course, Shoptalk 2025. Joe, we have known each other for a very long time.
Very long time. When you said 2025, I was like, oh my goodness. I bet you the camera can see how many grades I have now. But yeah, crazy. Very long time.
So, Jason and I are from Brisbane, as are you.
Yes.
We first met, I feel like it's got to be in like 2011, 2012, maybe even before I started Sign Up 2, which was the precursor to Andzen.
Yeah, I think it was 2011, and it might have been at a Google meetup.
Probably.
You know those little partner
Yeah.
meetups they used to have? Those were cool, by the way.
Yeah.
I thought they were cool.
All right, what are you doing now?
Well, heading up partnerships at Growave, helping out with a lot of the stuff and our growth in North America in general, living in Texas, which is definitely a bit of a change from Brizzy, but it's cool. I think the Southern hospitality very much resonates with Brisbane. Everyone's super friendly, happy to help. So yeah, and here we are in Vegas in Shoptalk, and yeah, what a full circle moment. It's nice.
Absolutely. We got to catch up last year in Austin, Texas. Got to catch up with you and meet Eldar. We had a really good time. Looking forward to it again this year. But let's jump into all things Growave.
Yeah, Eldar, I think this is a really cool moment for us because it's the first time we've had a founder of a platform on the show. So I think that's kind of the best place to start. I'm really keen for you to maybe introduce Growave to our audience. You know, what is the platform? What was your vision behind the platform, I guess? And where is it at today?
Yeah, a great pleasure to be here. I would say that at the beginning, we started from Central Asia. It's far away from Shopify ecosystem. So literally nobody from Shopify is living or doing something there. So it was really challenging at the beginning. But I came to this industry from social networking space.
Okay.
I was helping many brands build kind of communities.
Yeah.
And then after that, they usually end up building, kind of commerce above this. And at that time, I was thinking like, what if we do if we play from another part, like what we help e-commerce businesses work with the customers and building communities around this. So making sure they have a strong relationship with customers and building kind of brand advocates. So it started in this way, and we end up creating Growave, and it's a customer retention platform. And I would say like we pivoted a lot since the launch, I guess. So it helped us to survive and came here to Las Vegas, finally being in the podcast, and it's a great honor for me. And today we are helping many brands from North America, Australia, Europe, Southeast Asia. And thanks to Joe, we're doing a lot of things in North America now, helping many brands here and helping them to convert better customers and retain better and growing, using your existing customers as a foundation for your growth.
Yeah, awesome. So I think that's kind of a good way to get into the meat of what the platform is. The community driven, there's a loyalty piece to it. There's also some reviews products in there, but what I really like about Growave is that it, like when you talk about customer retention, that's really what it's about. Like it's looking at the entire picture of customer retention and not just saying, loyalty is one thing or reviews are one thing. You've built a platform that has a whole suite of things that it can do. It's not really any one thing, right? It is a customer retention platform.
Yeah, that's true. So we're providing wide range tools, as I said. We're helping, first of all, brands to acquire customers and convert them. Like you have a great traffic on your website and thinking about how to convert better. And same time thinking if you convert them, how you're retaining them. So think about this. We build, ship amazing products, including loyalty and rewards, referral programs, reviews, wish list. And I would say like all of them are natively integrated, and all of them include under one roof, working seamlessly with each other. So you don't have to think how to connect, how data sharing is happening. And the amazing part is that we go beyond of the platform. It's all about ecosystem, and we working with many amazing tools that you already love and use on your daily base, like Klaviyo. We have best-in-class integration with them. Have integration with many other email apps, subscriptions, and so on, and mobile apps and so on. So just saying that be all about building kind of platform that helps brands to unify the experience. When they can provide seamless experience for your customers, starting from the moment they see your brand on social platform or everywhere, and when they land to your website and they later continue using it on, let's say, on mobile app, or maybe through email channels, or maybe in the retail store using Shopify POS.
I think I really like the fact that you guys have some of those growth tools like referrals, but then also just customer engagement tools like wish lists, right? And like you said, having it all under one roof is really important. The fact that you can just log into the one app, you see everything there, all the data is there. And then like you said, the integrations with those other platforms, you have this whole set of data that you can know is coming out of one place in Growave, and then going into Klaviyo or wherever it might be to kind of leverage it for marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to add one point to that because, obviously you guys have worked with me in other roles, and I've been the agency side and all of those sorts of things. But one thing I really loved about Growave, kind of like when I first came on board and kind of, dove under the hood of the products and the suite of products is wish list reminders versus like abandoned cart emails. They typically, like, this is a snapshot across 15,000 of our customers, but it's like there's a double conversion rate versus an abandoned cart email if you receive a wish list reminder. And I think the mindset of the consumer adding something to their wish list is so much different than someone just like adding something to their cart, exiting out of the browser straight away. So I think it's like all of those little attention to detail pieces that Eldar and the team have really focused on that just made me realize how much of an incredible product this was.
Yeah, I've also been really pleasantly surprised to find, even, I know like a lot of your focus has been in North America, but Andzen, we offer complimentary audits. So if anyone's listening and you'd like an audit of your Klaviyo account, but I've actually had a couple of merchants now come in and request an audit, and I find Growave under the hood when I get under there. And so it's really nice to see that you guys have picked that traction up, and especially like you said, being a platform founded in a country that's not what people would traditionally think of as a hub for tech, but there's great tools come out, and it's really actually gaining traction in the market, which the only way that happens is if the product itself is good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Eldar's being very humble. Like, he told me when they first started Growave, which is near close to 10 years, over 10 years, he was actually like coding on paper. Like to start building it, and I was just blown away to see where it is now and where we're heading towards. It's just super exciting. So
awesome.
Joe, you also mentioned you have a new person in partnerships, is it?
Yeah, so...
or CS?
No, so CS as well. So we hired someone, or Eldar sort of made the decision to hire someone from one of our competitors, which has been a really good edge.
Nice.
And very, very much focused on the North American market, but also working very closely with our agency partners, right? And I think that's one thing, in previous roles and at other companies I've noticed is sometimes there can be a disconnect between CS and partnerships, and I think that's really important and a step that a lot of people miss. And so that was like a very big hire for us and a big move into the market here.
Yeah, partnerships, I mean, preaching to the choir here, of course, but it is so crucial. And for us, I think maybe 75, 80% of all of our opportunities come from partners. And as we grow more into the North American market as well, just, I guess, relying on our tech partners and all of the like key individual relationships that we've built over the last decade, because partnerships understand the whole ecosystem, right? And in a world now with, e-commerce or Shopify ecosystem, all of these apps integrate. And whilst you have a consolidated product with Growave, integrations with things like Klaviyo as a sort of outbound platform, but everything else that exists in the ecosystem, it's not just about a tech integration, it's a partnerships integration, right? Like you have to know like who's doing what and where does it work and what is the customer and what is a good partnership team, platform and agency or platform and agency and doing an RFM together. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think the way that you guys have gone about your North American expansion is just very, very, very strategic and very smart. And I think there's a lot of, you've developed such strong relationships within the APAC market over the years. And then to be able to leverage those here for your expansion here is just absolutely brilliant. And the timing couldn't be better. I know we've spoken several times off air about this, but I'm just super excited. And to be able to, have this pinch me moment of sitting in a suite in Vegas when we all came from Brisbane, we've known each other for so many years. It's pretty cool to be able to partner and do some cool stuff in the US together, particularly. So.
Yeah. I really also like a little bit of lore for the people listening, but the original equipment that we launched this podcast with, we actually purchased from you. Brendan went around to your mother's house, I believe, and had a cup of tea and
cake. I think I was going to ask him to bring some with him, but good old mum storing things at her place for me. It's been cool, but I think that's a great example of a partnership, right? Where it goes even further. It's like you mentioned that this was something that was in the plans. Yeah. It's like, hey, I've got brand new equipment sitting there, like help yourself kind of thing. So it's cool how those things kind of work out and come full circle. And some would say it's meant to be, right? So, yeah.
All right. Should we get into maybe some interesting Growave client examples? Like, what are some interesting things that you're seeing? Either name the merchant or client or not. What's interesting? What's happening?
Yeah, so there's a couple of really core sort of things, and I'll definitely let Eldar sort of dive into this because I think Eldar very much gets more involved on the product side with the product team. But one thing that I'm kind of seeing that I think is really interesting, and it kind of comes back to those sort of platform partnerships. There's some interesting things that we've been having with one of our platform partners where they're giving us very direct feedback on product, and we're very much, creating interesting use cases, particularly around this unified commerce piece that's coming through. And I think, we're such. Right here is a great example of how far away COVID is now. But I think it's really like creating these seamless experiences for loyalty and rewarding loyalty and continuing retention, whether someone is shopping online or in store. And I know omni-channel was the thing that was around when we were at those Google sort of things, but I think it's become more and more prevalent. And I think some of the use cases we're doing for that, reverse punch cards, all sorts of things that are able to be done at POS are pretty interesting and exciting. And I think that'll be an area we continue to grow quite a lot more in. And I think, especially as we're all seeing, these larger enterprise brands shifting away from some of the old platforms, whether it be, they're moving away from their traditional kind of commerce platform, but then also moving away from their life cycle platforms, all coming across to Shopify Plus and Klaviyo, which is so exciting, right? And as Eldar mentioned, we've strengthened those products so much. And so I just think it's a very interesting time for that. And I think one of the biggest things that we've done, sorry to talk too much, guys.
Go for it.
You know me.
It's a podcast.
Is, I think one really innovative thing that, Eldar and I kind of spoke about very early on is like, let's cap our pricing.
Yeah, okay.
And so, as I mentioned, that big shift that we're seeing, like, we didn't, I guess, necessarily intend to swim up market as quick as we are, but we're kind of seeing that demand because I think, you would see it more than us, if not the same, is I think merchants are really wanting a lot more out of their tech stack.
Absolutely.
Big
They
time.
want to reduce that bloat in their tech
Yep.
stack costs. And from our side of view, side of things, and our point of view from a partnership standpoint, I would much rather the merchant reduce that tech stack cost, come across to us, be working with Klaviyo, be working with you, and using that money to be able to then improve everything they're doing on a life cycle and loyalty front, as opposed to just throwing that money into the ether, really.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the big, I guess, kind of thing we're seeing from just a market perspective.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing the same thing from agency as well. Like, SaaS subscription bloat, total cost of ownership, and then just really consolidating. And that being from a platform perspective, products like Growave, but you'll see that like in a lot of other platforms or even other competitors now, a lot of consolidation happening either through building additional products or acquiring additional products. But the market is sort of demanding a more consolidated, where I think a couple years ago it was very much just like single product, best in class. But then so much innovation has happened in the space. There's so many apps in the space. Everyone picked up best in class, best in class, best in class. And now they have like, 102 different platforms that they have to pay for, with overlaps all over the place. On everyone's mind now is, okay, what is the consolidated platform, and then what single apps do I need to just plug those gaps?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think identifying those, like our role, as much as like my role as head of partnerships is very much building these amazing relationships with people such as yourselves from an agency perspective, it's also having a look at everything that's happening on a technology platform sort of side of things, and really doubling down on certain partnerships where we can, and just seeing where that's shifting to. So yeah, it's an interesting time. I think there's going to be even more consolidation this year. I think like it feels like we're halfway through the year, but we're coming up to the end of the quarter, and it's going to happen quick. I think there's a few. I've rumored to hear of a few that are happening in the background. So yeah, it's interesting.
And talking about a little product consolidation, maybe a quick word from our sponsor.
Yes.
Founded in 2012, Klaviyo is the only CRM built for B2C brands. Powered by our built-in Klaviyo data platform and AI insights, Klaviyo combines marketing automation, analytics, and customer service into one unified solution, making it easy for businesses to know their customers and grow faster. Klaviyo helps relationship-driven brands of all sizes deliver one-to-one experiences at scale, improve efficiency, and drive revenue. Chat to the team at Andzen or visit andzen.co/KLAVIYO to find out more and get started.
And we're back. So another reminder, if you go to andzen.co/podcast, you will be able to get not only this episode, the video version, but you'll be able to see all of our past episodes, links to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. You can see us on Instagram. We'll also be doing TikTok now, so you can just check us out everywhere. Now that we're back, Eldar, I'd love to hear about maybe a couple of specific examples of clients using Growave.
Yeah, sure. I have many of them.
Excellent.
So let's start from one brand. I love this brand. Talk a lot with them in the past. So they're from Finland, North Outdoor. It's a apparel brand, and in Scandinavia, especially in Finland, I see like some challenges in economy. So people spending wisely, and especially in this. At this stage, when things changing in the market, when competition increasing, when customer acquisition cost, is increasing steadily from year to year, so they challenged a lot of problems in acquisition and retention. At some point, they reached out to us, and they were using one of the leading products, and actually we helped them to switch to Growave, and the main issue was that they weren't able to improve their retention. And we worked closely for the last 6 months, and we helped them to increase, first of all, the strategy. So it's a well thought strategy about how they're going to retain customers, how they're building these relationships, and especially how they use all the tools they're using at this stage, and Klaviyo one of them, to leverage better the customer data, personalize experience, and build lasting relationships with customers. And end up with 7% increasing AOV in a very short period of time.
Oh, fantastic!
And also the loyal customers spending much more, and LTV increased significantly, and especially like purchase frequency. They have 2.4 times more purchases landed within a year, comparing non-loyal customers. And the amazing part, beyond all of this, top of the eye is that they cut costs on the tech stack, so they're spending less, and it removed all heavy lifting they had in the past. Now they have, I guess in many brands I see they have very lean marketing teams. And especially when you have to deal with all things related to program, when you have to set up something, when you have to monitor, and when you have to troubleshoot why someone received more points, or maybe someone didn't receive anything. We simplify all this, like everything optimized and automated, so they can move lean, they can provide better experience for your customers, and as I say, sometimes they don't have to spend a lot. We don't have to charge customers for this.
I'm really keen to maybe dig in a bit on that Klaviyo piece that you were just saying there as well, and stats like increasing orders per year by 2.4x, like that's pretty amazing, right? And to know that you're also increasing the average order value at the same time is really awesome. Is that mainly through helping people put together a strategy on the loyalty side in terms of the gamification of the tiers that you're seeing that driven through, or is that maybe the integration with Klaviyo, say, like making it easier to leverage some of the data in that loyalty platform to do better marketing, and that's what's leading or really driving the growth?
Well, great question. I would say like in shortly it's both. It starts from foundation of the program. Like when you build a strategy, you have to think thoughtfully, spend some time analyzing your customers, understanding why they keep coming back and why some of them churning. And when you understand better them and why key reasons for them to keep buying from you, you can work on this. And when you see like all customer groups, when see all behaviors and have idea what you're going to change in their behavior, it looks like everything is much straightforward, simple, and you build strategy on this. And when you build everything, the main part, like how you personalize, how you use all tools to ensure that your customers, first of all, aware about the program, they can easily understand and use the program. And Klaviyo is a great example how we're achieving this, especially for Finland brand and many other brands. Our brands use Klaviyo as a main tool, and I would say like in our team, we train our CSM managers to create flows in Klaviyo. Maybe at some point we'll start certification for Klaviyo. I guess so. But anyway, saying that at Growave, we collect a bunch of data about your customers, what they love, what they do, what kind of things, in terms of tiers, how they're moving. And, you can use all this data to personalize your customer experience. And every touch point of your customers, and especially when it comes to email, like when they first time placed order, and then when they have to first of all learn about that you have a program, that they earn some points, or maybe they're so close to the next tier, so maybe they should place one more order at a particular order size, and it unlocks them more perks. And I would say like when brands doing this wisely, they can better engage your customers. And I will see all emails related to loyalty programs, they have really high conversion rate, like more opens, engagement. People love to know like they have more perks, and they really see how they can use this perks. So the best thing is ensure that first of all you have a lot of data, and second, how you actually going to leverage this. And if you're doing it wisely, it pays back.
And we've mentioned this a few times on this podcast, but at Andzen, implementing loyalty programs is, I guess, second to what we primarily do with Klaviyo Flows, but loyalty, reviews, and Klaviyo go so well together. Like there's so much information there that we can pull in and enrich these flows, but it goes both ways, right? So you talk about making merchants or customers aware of where their points are and how far they are away from that. Those Klaviyo flows bring them back in, right? Like that's the way to communicate them. Sure, you have those POS and on-site members areas and notifications, but being able to send emails and SMS out to constantly remind customers where they're at with their loyalty program or whether they need to leave a review, that's what sort of brings them both in together. And that's what we love about being a Klaviyo agency and chatting to platforms like Growave, because those Klaviyo and Growave and us from an agency perspective, there's just so much value to unlock there.
Absolutely. I think it's crucial, and the two working together with the agency partners such as yourselves driving it, it's like the key to success in my opinion.
I'm really keen to hear a bit more about the work that you guys are doing with Shopify POS as well. I think POS is something that, and the whole bricks and mortar piece, I think often is kind of on the side and doesn't get spoken about as much, but it's a massively growing piece of the puzzle. And I think we're seeing this in Australia, and I know it's happening in the US as well, or North America, that a lot of these traditional pure play, what we used to call brands that were just online, are starting to open that one boutique or that second maybe flagship store. And you guys, I guess, are helping overcome some of those challenges traditionally in the stores where, there was no way to know unless you had a store manager that was personally recognizing these people and being able to build rapport. It's very difficult to track that in store in the past. So I'm keen to hear about how you guys are doing it a bit differently.
Yeah, sure. I can give you one example. It's a brand from Netherlands. It's called Love the Store. And I would say most of their revenue is coming from retail store.
Okay.
And they're selling furniture, some apparel.
Yeah.
And I saw that one of the challenges was, in the past they have, there was a kind connection between online and offline. Mm-hmm. So you have some programs, loyalty programs on online, but it's missing on offline.
Yeah.
And it's ruining everything. You can't build right relationships with customers if they start something here and it stops working there. And so there is a new buy. In regular, they are buying and coming to your store, on monthly basis. But now on offline store, it's new customers. You're not treating it rightly. So we help them to connect online and offline. We help them to use the Shopify POS and train the team to properly introduce loyalty program to their customers. And I think it's key point is the loyalty program starts and ends with your staff.
Yeah.
They should be aware about the program.
Yeah.
And also we help them to simplify all steps, like when someone enters the store, they see some posters on the walls, like saying, first of all, we have loyalty program, and it's easy to get started. Just scan the code, put email here, and you are in.
Yep.
And last thing, at POS station, we implement them QR codes. So each customer has their own unique QR code. They can, show it to cashier. They scan it. It takes, seconds instead of, people standing in the queue and asking what's your name? Please repeat, and so on. So all these things help them to increase conversions, and more people started using and being part of the program. And it's a huge, because now when you have this customer's data information, you can leverage it later, and you can reach them again through SMS, email, to ensure that they come in when you have a new launch of new collections or maybe some sales.
Yeah. And it allows, sorry, Joe, I was just going to say, it allows you to track that, if you're sending that SMS out, on a Saturday to try and drive traffic in store, it lets you connect that revenue, right? That activity to know actually this is worthwhile to do.
Yeah, and you can gamify it. I think that's the really cool part, right? It's like you can, increase points for their next purchase in store, or if you really want to like get that mix up, if you want them to be spending a little more online, you can gamify that. So all through Klaviyo, obviously. So it's pretty cool stuff.
Nice one. Joe, let's talk about North America.
Yes.
We are doing more and more there. I'm spending the next month over here.
I'm very excited for that. I'm excited for all the activities in Austin. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we're here in Vegas for Shoptalk. It's going to be amazing next couple of 3 days. A lot of partners in town. We're off to Arizona after this for a little brand retreat, and then heading over to Texas. We'll be meeting with our team. Our much-loved North American team. Andzen is also on the hunt for, like, shameless plug here, another North American CSM. So if you know anyone.
I was about to say that. I think it'll be worth connecting you with Amanda, who's also based in Austin, because she's our head CS in the US.
Great.
And I dare say she has some people in her network who'd be looking. So
nice one.
I'll make that happen.
What trends specifically, I guess, now in 2025 are you seeing in the US?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things just to touch on with what's going on in the world, and I'll do it super quick. Obviously, there's tariffs. There's a lot of stuff around there. I think the thing that I see particularly happening in North America versus, say, probably Australia is I think there are still a lot of really bullish merchants here. I mean, you guys are seeing it, we're seeing it. But, full circle kind of back to what we were talking about earlier around, I really think they're trying to cut the bloat. So get rid of unnecessary spend, double down on spend that's actually going to increase LTV or retention or working with professionals such as yourselves. I think that is really what I'm seeing brands focused on. And I think from a technology standpoint, it's kind of about doing as much as possible for the merchant and that consolidation that we spoke about. But that's the key trends. And I think, with your expertise, that's why I think you're going to do incredibly well here and continue to do incredibly well here, because you offer a real detailed specialization. Particularly around everything life cycle, everything around loyalty, everything around retention. And I think that gives you quite a strategic advantage compared to some of the other companies here. Yeah,
no, I appreciate that. Yeah, so I guess from APAC standpoint, it has been a fairly sort of tough economic climate for maybe a couple of years. I feel like the region is coming out of that now. I think merchants are still pretty conservative, though, when it comes to, I guess, signing new contracts or signing up for new tech. They're still sort of watching the interest rates, watching the cost of living. And now that's not to say that, I guess, our North American merchants aren't, but I think you hit on it before. There's just a lot of optimism in North America, right? Like, it's regardless of tariffs, regardless of costs, those are real world things. And I think it makes merchants are a lot more price sensitive and conscious about it, but unwavering positivity coming out of North America, which is what we love.
Absolutely. And I think it comes back to, like, if you tie that directly back to APAC, if you're prepared to take the risk and be bullish now and double down on some of these activities that we've kind of spoken about, and making sure that you have the right experts on your team, making sure that you're cutting out the bloat, I think there is a really good opportunity to do incredibly well. And I think that's one thing we're seeing in the US is that some merchants are hyper aware of that and they're just taking the risk a little bit earlier. So it's exciting.
Nice one. All right. Well, aside from contacting Andzen directly on our website, how can our listeners find out more about Growave?
Yeah, growave.io, or you can reach out to Eldar or myself on LinkedIn. I'm sure you guys are super switched on with this, so you'll put the link in the comments and all of that jazz. But yeah, that's probably the best way.
Absolutely. Well, fellas, so good to have you both here in Vegas on the pod.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure chatting to you, Eldar and Joe. Everyone listening at home, again, andzen.co/podcast. You'll get all of the links, all of the details. That's a wrap. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you
team.
so much for
See you
having us.
around.
Thank you.